ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another installment of everybody's favorite short show on the internet. This is Storytime with Jimmy, where you get to hear quick little stories from the career of longtime WWE referee Jimmy Corderas. And Jimmy, right now, as people are listening to this, night one of Wrestlemania has already happened. Night two will be happening later today. And a lot of fans have been complaining, rightly or wrongly, about this person's not booked for WrestleMania, and this person's not booked for WrestleMania, and this person's not booked for WrestleMania. And I thought, hey, my pal Jimmy knows what it feels like to not be booked for WrestleMania.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about, because this is something that I will never forget. And I know it's not about me. The referees don't sell tickets. I get that. But at the same time, you're doing all the miles. You're doing even extra work. You want to say it that way. You're doing ring crew. You're doing all that stuff. You're in early. You're leaving late. All that sort of stuff. So WrestleMania 13 in Chicago, the match of, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, going to be inducted this year into the Hall of Fame for that wonderful match. I was a little perturbed, and I didn't let anybody know about it. And this is the first time I'm actually saying it publicly. I've never told this to anybody, but I was there at WrestleMania 13, but you may not have seen me. You know why? I did the pre-show match. And don't get me wrong, I love Billy Gunn. I love Flash Funk. They're great guys. But at the same time, you want to be a part of WrestleMania, the main show. So I got all BooBoo faced. And I tried my best not to show anybody that I was BooBoo faced. But there was another referee on there who had not been there, was not as tenured, I want to say, as I was, that made it onto the main show. And again, I was a little perturbed. So when guys say they're upset that they're not on WrestleMania, you know what? Line forms to the left. I know what it's like.
I'm trying to think. WrestleMania 13, the ref crew was, if I'm going off the top of my head, there was you, there was Earl, Jack Doan, Kyoto.
Yep.
Billy Silverman.
Yep.
Am I missing anyone?
Well, Tim White was there, but he didn't officiate that show.
Was he still reffing at that point, or he moved into a different role?
He was beginning to transition, but he was still refereeing at that time. Yeah. Well, people say, well, Ken Shamrock took your spot. Well, if it was Ken Shamrock, then I ain't going to complain. Yeah, I'm not going there.
I'll complain for you. Screw you, Shamrock.
Hey, I don't want another belly to belly and an ankle lock, so that's okay.
I'll take that bullet for you, buddy.
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Kyoto, long time. Jack, Earl, even I'll give it to Shamrock. Did I leave a name out? Yes, I did.
Jack, Earl, Kyoto, you. I mean, those were the veterans, and Timmy White. Those were the veterans that were part of the crew at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess Silverman was the new kid on the block, right?
Right.
So basically what happened was Silverman got booked, you didn't.
For the main show, yes, he got booked.
Okay. Do you remember off the top of your head? Because I can't find this information. Do you remember if he did one match or more than one match?
That's the thing. It was on the main card. I want to say, let me think. There was 7 matches on the main card. 8 matches on the main card, and there's
7 on the main. You're right. 7 on the main, 1 pre-show. Yeah, you're right.
And it's funny because there are 5 referees.
Yeah.
Well, Ken Shamrock, so you can, let's say 6. We'll include him. Let's just say 6.
Right. So someone did double duty.
Yes.
Probably Earl.
I don't recall. I was so boo-boo faced I didn't care.
Now let me ask you this: without revealing any numbers, you worked the pre-show, you didn't work the main show. Was
Right.
your pay affected?
It was basically like a regular pay-per-view pay for me.
Okay. Had you worked the main show, would you have had a bump in pay?
That would depend on which match you do. If you're doing the main event, you probably would have had a little bonus. If you're
Okay.
doing a high profile match, you might get a little bonus.
If you're doing an underneath match, maybe
Pretty
just
much.
your regular pay?
Maybe regular, maybe a little extra because it is WrestleMania.
A little sauce on top.
Yeah, you get a little something.
So it's not that you were BooBoo face just out of pride and ego. They took some money out of your pocket.
Maybe at that point it wasn't about the money. It ain't about the money.
I want camera time.
I want to get my face in there in a face-to-face.
Okay, so who do we have heat with? Whose fault was this that you weren't booked?
I don't know. I don't know who booked the refs for that show. I'm almost positive it wasn't JR.
Okay.
Yeah. So whoever that was.
I guess this is before Earl was doing ref assignments.
Right.
Okay. So we don't know who it was.
No.
But somebody decided that the new kid needed a spot and the good Canadian kid could just sort of sit in catering.
Well,
did you stay for the whole show or did you just peel out?
No, I had to stay. I had to do teardown afterwards.
Oh,
so I had no choice. I could have gone out for Chicago pizza. I mean,
you know what? There could have been an easy way to work you in without even having to officially work you in. When they did that Chicago street fight with Legion of Doom and Ahmed against the Nation of Domination,
right.
They could have had some extra refs outside because it turns into chaos, right? They could have easily had 2 or 3 officials because there's 6 guys fighting all over the city.
Right.
They could have easily worked you in.
I mean,
that's
yeah.
That feels like a concerted effort to not have you on.
I don't know. You could break up a schmoz or something like that, but then again, whatever.
You could have slid in, given Ken Shamrock a belly to belly, and said, "Hey, this is my spot."
Probably not advisable. I don't know about that. That's like trying to instigate something with Steve Blackman at Baggage Claim. I wouldn't do it.
That's a story we've told before. Let me ask you this. If you were working there today, Jimmy Corderas is a senior official for WWE. It's WrestleMania 41, and you are this older, wiser, sage version of Jimmy Corderas. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, Charles or Chad Patton or someone comes up to you and says, "Jim, we don't have you on the show." Are you BooBoo face, or are you going to sit backstage and just count your payday?
I would probably not be as BooBoo face as I was then.
Okay.
But I would ask the question. I would ask why, and if they gave me a good enough reason, all right, that's fine.
Right.
But
you'd be
like in a wrestling match, give me reasons. If there's a good reason other than, you know what, we're going to shoehorn this other kid in here.
You could easily just say, "Guys, I should be booked because when I count 3, I'm not giving away the falsies."
Oh, that's another story. Okay. Yep.
That's a tease for one day down the future. Ladies and gentlemen,
yes,
this has been another installment of Storytime with Hollywood Jimmy Corderas, because he needs his camera time, damn it. And when he doesn't get it, he gets very BooBoo face, and it's not okay. And I am advocating for my boy. Let's get Jimmy Corderas at WrestleMania 42. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, bro.